No, who knows if it's man-made or something from outer space, but they definitely saw what they saw. And this area is known that people see different stuff, though, so that's unexplainable. You know, who knows? Maybe it was a mass hallucination, but I doubt it. It was, and it was definitely a manufactured thing that they saw. Somebody made it, or something made it, or whoever.
They're describing things that are not conventional, that move very quickly and hover and are silent, and there's just no other explanation than something out of this world.
The term unidentified flying object was coined around 1950. By 1953, it was shortened to UFO. In the years since, the stories concerning UFOs have been rife with speculation. Some witnesses truly believe the objects to be of alien origin, piloted by strange-looking beings. Skeptics believe these objects to be aeronautical technology being tested by governments. Still others believe the objects to be atmospheric test equipment such as weather balloons. UFO investigator Martin Jacek considered several possibilities for the sightings in December of 1996 in Yukon, including blimps.
We tried several explanations. Was there a blimp in the area? And I contacted a blimp company out in Toronto, and they said, no, blimps do not fly in the winter. It's very dangerous because just a bit of a snowfall on the blimp itself can bring it down, so it wasn't a blimp. So what else is that big and flies around?
There are also people who would say the whole thing is a hoax. But for the people in the villages along the North Klondike Highway and those stopped along Fox Lake on the evening that the giant craft was spotted, this was no hoax.
Keep watching the sky. You may see what I saw. And if you see it, believe it. If you don't see it, don't scoff at those who do. But too many are telling the story for it to be a hoax. Too many have seen. Yeah. They're out there.
I believe there's something out there now that I've seen it myself with my own eyes.
We know something's there somewhere. You know, it's not like we can't deny it because we don't know.
Well, there are unanswered questions. We're taught not to believe in UFOs. We're taught not to believe in all sorts of things, and humans do as they're told.
Despite the unanswered questions and the uncertainty, a large percentage of society believe there is life on other planets. They also believe that there are intergalactic visitors who come to Earth to interact with humans. Michael Bryan is one. He believes in UFOs, and in order to stimulate dialogue about the subject and other tough issues, he writes an article called Beyond the Box. It appears in a local newspaper.
It's common sense to me that we are not alone in this universe, that there are there's life on other planets, in other galaxies, and so forth.
Lorraine Bretlin has written a book, UFO Stories from the Yukon. She runs an ad in the personal section of a local paper that has a telephone number to call if someone wants to report a UFO sighting or other strange phenomena.
Well, in the beginning I had asked for UFO stories, and the first year I wrote, it was 101 stories, and not one of them was the same.
I think at the moment we tend to be looked upon as adolescent children, and that we're being very closely observed by different star people.
We can't say there isn't anybody out there or any other than we would be kind of silly to say that. You know, to tell you the truth, I think we'd be pretty naive.
If I see something on a busy highway like this, and a lot of other people seen it, it's got to be other people seen stuff here in the territory. Not only in the territory, but around the world, perhaps.
Ultimately, there are enough people in Yukon who believe in UFOs that the Yukon UFO Research Society was established in 2001 to investigate and record the local sightings.
I lived in the Yukon for about 8 years, and when I was up there, I investigated UFO sightings, and it was really good. I got to meet a lot of people and really interesting cases. We used to go out in the field and take measurements of where people saw things, and compiled reports and put them on a website and published some of them.
The Research Society has recorded at least 293 sightings going back to the 60s, with at least one sighting from the 30s. Less than half of the sightings were made public by the witnesses. These records indicate that there may also be UFO hotspots in the territory.
Well, I think the one that a lot of people are familiar with is Fox Lake. A high hot spot, from what I understand, is LaBarge, Lake LaBarge, and also Viceroy, the gold mine on the Dempster Highway.
Elder Irene Adamson is a Southern Shoshone of Tlingit descent. She's lived and hunted in the Fox Lake, Lake LaBarge area most of her life. If strange celestial objects were spotted in the area in the past, she would have heard about it. Indeed, the story she recounts here is of a strange event that occurred in that area during the 1800s.
My grandmother, that shooting, not shooting, but they stay up right back behind that village, like LaBarge, up in that mountain. So they were sitting down by the campfire after they eat, so the moon come up, and it just went up so far. And then here, all of a sudden it's just like it started drip just like water, and they see that moon was dripping, and so it went down so far, and it stopped there, and another moon was formed there, another moon. And it happened 3 times.
Despite the uncertainty and skepticism surrounding the UFO phenomenon, sightings on a global scale increased dramatically in the late 40s, leading some to surmise that they might have something to do with World War II or the development of nuclear technology. But these theories do not explain the sightings in Yukon prior to the 1940s, or for that matter, prior to the aircraft arriving in Canada's north. For Irene Adamson's grandmother, Conde, seeing the moon split into 3 was enough to have her fearing for her life and the lives of her children.
That time then my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, she started to cry, and she took out a rope. She took up rope and she tied it around her waist, and she tied all of her kids to her. She watched Prinny all night and nothing happened.
In the past 10 years, the 2 major newspapers in the territory have published numerous stories of strange lights in Yukon skies. The sightings have been so frequent that it was decided that it was time to have a conference. So far there have been 2, both in Whitehorse, one in 2000 and the other in 2002, attended by ufologists such as the well-known Stan Friedman. The giant UFO event of December 11th, 1996 was a highlight of the 2000 conference.
And I'm going to share my story with you.
The conferences also addressed some of the major obstacles plaguing the collection of UFO data. Fear of ridicule is one. Witnesses are very reluctant to come forward.
I think the biggest thing would be they're afraid of losing face or looking silly, or people won't believe them. So, you know, we're taught not to believe in things like this, so they follow the code.
A lot of them, their sanity might be questioned. There might be some individuals that are in the reserves that's seen it, and might even get kicked out of the reserves.
There's lots of people who believe simply because they have experiences, but at the same time, Christianity enters into the picture. most people will not cross that line